Hey guys, it's your boy the Next Best Thing back again with another video for you guys today in a new setting in my kitchen because I thought, it would look a little nice. But today's video we're gonna go 2019 wrestling, the review for me, look at the highlights, the good, the bad, the ugly, the pretty, everything about wrestling this year for me, because this year's been a really good wrestling year for me from January to December. A very packed year. This year I've been to 22. No, I've been to 24 different wrestling events, including shows, meet and greets, and all that fun stuff. So let's start. I don't really have a timeline. I'm just gonna go through and name things, events and things like that. So let's start with the obvious. WrestleMania 35 weekend. That weekend was probably single-handedly the greatest weekend of my entire life. I was only there for 5 days, in total traveling, including different events, going up to Brooklyn and all that stuff. But that weekend was truly amazing. From Wednesday with WrestlePro, Thursday meeting Asuka, and then going to the Superstore to see Paris. Follow her on Instagram, Paris Wrestling, I think it is now. And check out here on YouTube, Paris WWE. Then Friday with Access, meeting Hawkins and Ryder, Shinsuke Nakamura, NXT TakeOver, seeing Johnny Gargano win the NXT title, and then also meeting Mauro Ranallo outside of NXT. That was really, really cool. And then, of course, on that Saturday, WrestleCon with, Pancakes and Pile Drivers. I met Corey Graves, Chase Owens. A very packed day Saturday, and of course Sunday, WrestleMania, block party, and WrestleMania itself. That weekend, very special place in my heart. I got this shirt from that weekend. It's single-handedly the most influential weekend of my life. Not just from a wrestling standpoint, but just a life standpoint of how to live your life, live the fullest. And then, I'm trying to think of other things I did. This past August, on my birthday, I went to the Wrestling Universe store that Hawk and Zack Ryder on their YouTube channel. They go there all the time. And that's single-handedly the greatest standalone store I've been to this year. It's a really good store with figures, autographs, cards, pins, shirts, literally anything you can name, they have it. They even have championship belts, which is crazy. But the amount I spent that day, I spent almost $200, I think it was. But it was just... That store is truly amazing. Please check it out at that store. Wrestling Universe, Flushing, Queens. Look for Jack. Amazing store. Another highlight of the year, meeting Johnny Gargano. And I'll get into that other guy soon. Meeting Johnny Gargano, I met him twice. I met him first time at NXT in Tom's River at the live event. I didn't really get to talk to him then, since it was kind of we have to get to the bus. But I met him, and he's just amazing. One of the nicest acts I've seen. Not just in the ring, but just to the fans in general. And then, of course, I met him, if you guys didn't know, I think it was May 17th of this year. And it was something. Considering, I was having a full-blown anxiety attack the entire time before I met him, because he's my favorite of all time. So just meeting him and having a full-blown conversation face-to-face with him was just unbelievable. And then, of course, I met Sammy Guevara, my other inspiration in wrestling. He's just one of the biggest class acts ever. I met him at WrestleCon and after AEW Dynamite. He's single-handedly, besides Johnny Gargano, they're tied for the nicest wrestlers I've ever met. I have nothing but love and respect for them. It's just crazy. And then, of course, speaking of AEW Dynamite, going to the AEW Dynamite debut show in Washington, D.C. In case you guys didn't know, I went to that. That show was truly, truly not life-changing, but history was made that night. I don't know if it went through on TV, but when I was there live, you can tell it was a changing of the guard in the professional wrestling world, considering no one's ever really stepped up to WWE before in the last 21 years. TNA tried to do it, didn't do very well, but AEW is that company, in my opinion, that really took the wrestling world on, by storm. Now let's go on to just in general the wrestling world, not just my experience, but in overall the wrestling world. Of course, the start of AEW, that company is single-handedly the most interesting company that's come around in the last couple of years. And I'm in this It's funny. You think Twitter fans are terrible. Once you go on Facebook and see the fans on Facebook, they are terrible. Because I'm in the AEW group on Facebook, and they just trash it all the time. I'm like, why are you in the group then? Like, it really makes no sense. But the debut of AEW from Double or Nothing, I still haven't watched it. From what I've heard, it's only the single greatest show in professional wrestling, like in the last decade. And then of course you had Fight for the Fallen, Fyter Fest, All Out, and then you had the debut episode of AEW Dynamite, October 2nd. That changed everything with wrestling on the network. And then you had Full Gear, which was an amazing show. That show was incredible. But yeah, AEW Dynamite and whole made this year truly something different. Excuse me, guys. And then NXT stepping up their game. Not even, like, even before AEW was announced for debuting on Wednesdays, they stepped it up this year. Like, the storytelling, the match quality, truly something different. Because 2018 was more about the match ratings, I feel, but this year they focus a lot on storytelling and the match. Because last year was just, oh, they're going to have a good match, and that's the story. But this year there's story, there's build. Like, Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole. Like, that whole story, that lasted 6 months, I think it was. It wasn't 6 months, but it was a long time. And that story was my definition of, like, the story of NXT this year. Not AEW versus NXT. Like, that is what made NXT this year. And then, of course, Adam Cole in general killed it this year. Of course, I'm a Johnny Gargano fan for life. That's just without doubt. But you cannot deny the things that Adam Cole did for NXT this year. It's truly incredible. And then, even on the main roster, sure, wasn't the greatest year for the main roster, which I'll get into in a little bit. But WWE pulled stuff out of their ass this year, and they made it work. Like with Becky Lynch, they didn't want to go with it. They didn't. And then she won the Women's Royal Rumble, and she main evented WrestleMania in the first ever women's main event and won. The women this year, the first 6 months, truly, like, transcended not just wrestling, not just sports, not entertainment, but culture in itself. That truly changed the culture for everything that's happened this year. Like, the women completely in WWE have changed everything. And then you have people like Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, even if I don't like him personally either, but you can't deny the things he's done for WWE this year. He has become the guy in WWE. Daniel Bryan, the rise of Kofi Kingston. Sure, it sucked. It really did suck when he got beat by Brock in 3 seconds. But the rise of Kofi Kingston and the title reign he had this year, truly incredible, like, story. Like, no one, like, it wasn't supposed to happen. It wasn't supposed to happen. And then Mustafa Ali got injured, Kofi was put in, and then Kofi was the guy. It just, you can't write that. Like, some people in WWE have said, oh, Kofi was the plan all along. But there's no way you could have done that the way it happened. The organic rise of the crowd in the first gauntlet match for Elimination Chamber, that was the start of Kofi Mania, and then just skyrocketed from there. So that's, more positives actually. NWA Power, they have had an amazing year, especially lately with the villain Marty Scurll coming in. Truly incredible. Impact has had a killer year. So Sami Callihan on top now. It's gonna be, I'm seeing it, Sami and Tesla main eventing the pay-per-view for the world title. Truly incredible things they're doing over at Impact. MLW just kill it. They've killed it for the last 3 years, and nothing's really going to stop them. New Japan, they lost some big Gaijin stars, but they have risen from the ashes, per se. With Okada, Tanahashi, Ibushi, Ospreay, God, completely transcending the wrestling world. And also for them to come over to the United States and do shows. Unheard of. So now for the negatives. I'm going to start with my personal negatives. Now, I do not have many negative, like, things in wrestling this year for me personally. I never really had, like, a bad show I went to. Like, some were a little bit disappointing, but, like, they were still good nonetheless. The only real disappointing thing was like when people left my promotion WrestlePro, like Pat Buck and Danny Moff, two of the biggest names in the company. They left to go to WWE Ring of Honor, and like it sucked. But those are the only like not the bad things, but sad things that happened this past year, which it sucks. But hey, they're doing greater things, so it's fine on them. So let's go into the big landscape of professional wrestling with the negatives of this past year. So a big one to point out, Seth Rollins and Twitter. Don't give him a phone that has Twitter on it. Please. Like, he's doing better now. But the comments about Ospreay and just no need. Like, honestly, there's no need. Let's see. Oh, big one. Ring of Honor. That I can't really speak on behalf of the entertainers over Ring of Honor because that's something like a personal thing for them. So for Ring of Honor, it's kind of like a touchy subject because like there's going to be people who will be like, no, like it's not how it was. And there's going to be people like, no, this is how it was. And it's just a little sketchy, to say the least. And then another negative, the last half for WWE this year. I don't know what's going on in creators' heads at times because it downfall at the main roster a lot. Not gonna lie, the big decline was the first big decline was when Lesnar won the WWE title from Kofi Kingston. That was like the first like blow. Then the biggest one was Hell in a Cell with Rollins and The Fiend. That definitely blew for WWE. Like, the first 6 months of WWE this year surprised me a lot. I did not expect how good it was the first 6 months. And now it's just like, here, just like, take, and just not very well. And then stories like Lashley, Lana Rusev. No bueno. Not very good. What are some other negatives from this year? Because really, like, okay. The biggest thing from this year, truly, fans attacking other fans. Now, it's always been a problem, like, with opinions and things, like, it's been a problem since the introduction of social media, that's when things have piled up, but as soon as January 1st hit, and AEW was announced as a new company, that's when it all kind of just, I'm gonna say it all started going downhill, because wrestling fans lately have been attacking each other a lot. I can say these things because I don't attack other fans for their opinions. I'll be like, oh, okay, here's my opinion. And we'll just, like, talk about our opinions. But some other people take it to lengths that don't need to be taken to. It's just like, you have your opinion and you can disagree and agree with others' opinions. But to, like, attack their family and, like, say mean things like that, like, no, thank you. We don't want that. Like, wrestling's supposed to be that time we all come together to have a big party, pretty much. No matter what even if it's, like, a little show in a firehouse full of, like, 50 people. It's like your own little party. Like, don't ruin it for others. But I'm gonna grade 2019 as a whole. And as a whole, I'm gonna give it an 85. It's not an A, not close to an A, no way. But it's not deserving of a C grade. It's an 85, a B, a solid B. They hit and miss, and the big misses caused it to go down to an 85. But for this year, for an 85, for an upstart company to go on TNT, on national television, and skyrocket, it's unbelievable, to say the least. So, yeah. So, that's my year of wrestling in 2019, personal experience for me, and in the overall grand scheme of things. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Please hit that like button. Put suggestions in the comment section down below. Subscribe, share with your friends. Look out for future videos coming soon. Because of break, you'll see my Every Wrestler I Met in 2019, my 2020 autograph collection, my What I Got for Christmas 2019. Look for all those videos hopefully coming out within the next week or two. But yeah, enjoy your holidays, whatever you celebrate. Have a good old time, and yeah. They asked me what I want to see what I'm going to be doing next month, but I don't have 2020 vision. See you later, guys.